Now, Earn, you good? All right, I am asking the first question.
So this is Maverick, and I made the beats for the project. Personally, I had been making beats for the longest time, and the aim was to now move towards, excuse me, I was trying to move towards making more songs, right? So, I remember somewhere late 2019 or something like that, I had the plan to make a bunch of EPs with all the artists that I know or have worked with, And so in the process, like 2019, I worked on a lot of beats, and then I had beat packs ready. And I thought, I met McLaren in 2018, and we had just been going back and forth. McLaren has been sending me dope songs and things like that. So I'm like, I definitely want to do a project with this guy. So I hit him up, and I had been sending him some other beats along the way, but then I was like, let's actually start specifically and work on a project. So I sent him a beat pack, and yeah, that's how we got started. So for me, with the beat making side, like, when I'm working, usually, my inspirations could come from anywhere, right? And I just make a bunch of different stuff, I try not to limit myself to say, maybe I'm a trap producer or hip hop or whatever, Even just yesterday, I was making like a semi-rock song or something like that. And so, I made, the batch that I sent to McLaren was with a bunch of different beats, right? But when I initially thought about the project, I wanted it to be like a classic hip hop type of project. But then along the way, it just basically, became an entity of its own, became something else. And so the weirdest part for me working on this project was getting the songs back when they got engineered, bro. Cause even the two people I was working with could attest to that, because I would get the song back and I'm like, it'll hit me different, bro. I'm like, this doesn't really, it sounds so, it's different because it's been engineered and I'm used to having it sound a certain way. So when it comes back, that hit was different, So I had to adjust to that, and then I started getting used to how Drazzy engineers his songs, and then, getting the song back, after it's been mixed and mastered, and I'm like, all right, yeah, so that was, throughout the process, those were some like highlights for me, yeah. And one other part about, the process was getting the songs back from McLaren, getting the songs back from McLaren, because I haven't been making music for that long, making actual songs. And so there was a sense of excitement about whenever McLaren would send back a song, I'd hear the song and it would be that feeling of like, shit, I produced this, bro, and then also hearing that obviously McLaren is a dope rapper. So when I hear the song, it's that feeling of like, this is a pretty dope song and I made it. I'm in the process of making this, So it was a sense of excitement and, looking forward to the future, thinking like, once this comes out, like the goals that I'm trying to reach for are actually going to happen, and we're going to be putting out dope music in the process. So yeah, that was So Victoria it started off with me just, I was experimenting. There was this beat pack or sample pack we got from Simon Savita, and there was a sample on there that I really liked. But then, working on it was like, it was a interesting process for me, because that was like one of the first times I made something like that, or it might be the only beat like that I've made so far. And I made it, and as usual, as something I would do at home sometimes, I get excited or overexcited about a beat and I want to share it. So I recorded a little status, put it on IG and WhatsApp. So I put it on there. McLaren responded. He was like, yo, he really fucks with the beat, he likes it, and he wants me to send it to him so he can record something to it. I was like, yeah, it's all good. I sent it through to him, and then he was quick about it. It didn't really take long for him to get back to me with that song, and when he sent it back, that was that was an interesting one. You know, he did ask for like one change on it. He asked me to like add an additional bass note to keep it like, he wanted to bring it back to C so that like he could like, you know, implement some of the vocal stuff that he wanted to do. But like that was that. And then Thoughts was, the beat was in the pack that I sent to McLaren, and just sent it through to him, and you know, he just surprised me by sending back the song sometime later in the process. Yeah, but yeah, and then Paper Chasing. Yo, Paper Chasing that was one of my favorite beats to start with on the project. You know, before I even sent them through to McLaren, I was always vibing to that beat so much. And when I sent it through, it took time obviously to get it back, because you know, the writing process on his side and everything he had to do, you know. And I was always like, yo, one thing I had to learn to do with this process was patience, bro, because you know, McLaren would take his time, and I'm out here expecting him to get back to me with the songs like immediately or something like that. And that's why I had to I kept nagging him about the songs, bro. I was like, yo, bruh, what's going on? You know, when are you delivering the songs? And then, you know, I actually liked that he was taking his time, because when it finally hit me, when the song came through, I was happy to have waited, you know. It's literally among my favorite songs on the project, because when it came through, it came back, and I was like, yo, bruh, I was vibing with that song so much. So yeah. And you know, we really had to fight. All three of us had to go through a whole process of figuring out one part of the song that we wanted to change, or like trying to figure out how exactly should we have this part implemented. Because McLaren sent a version of the song to me, the first one, and it had one thing done. And then when he sent it through for mixing and mastering, he had changed that, added something else. And so when I heard it after it came back, I was like, what is this, bro? What's going on? And then we had to go back and forth with me fighting to get the original one still be like the one that we put out. But eventually we just decided to go with like the original like version, or the vision that McLaren had for it. You know, since, you know, he is the artist, so we prioritized what he wanted to do and let him have that one. So yeah. So my favorite tracks on the project, I have a top 3. I personally love this whole project as it is, you know. I would say I have a special relationship with each one of the songs, you know. At some points of the process, it felt like what McLaren was writing related to me as well, you know. So I connected with the songs like that. And then my top 3 would be, it's mostly the hype songs, bro. It's 645, Paper Chasing, and Level Up. With 645, it was just, yo, the way McLaren comes in on that song, bro, it doesn't take long. I also love that beat as well, among my favorite beats again. When McLaren sent it back, bro, like the song starts, like you will hear it, right? The song starts and he immediately just goes ham on it. Like the verse, I've literally rapped that verse so many times, I could literally rap it myself. Like, you know, if we were to do a performance, a video, I could take this guy's place, bro. I would literally rap that song myself. So yeah, that was that with 645. It's the reason why I love it. And Paper Chasing again is, like I mentioned before, that was one of my favorite beats to, you know, on the project. And when it came back, it was dope, you know. Both the combination of McLaren and Vo was amazing, you know. Again, I geek out every time McLaren sends back these songs, because they're literally that good, and I can't wait for people to actually hear them. And with Level Up, yo, Level Up is also another one of those, you know. It was one of the last songs that McLaren sent, and the hook that he does, bro. And actually the crazy part is both the engineer and McLaren are on that one song. So Drazzy's on there as well. And he comes through with like a fire verse as well, bro. So I really like that, you know, everything McLaren did. Like another thing that happened with this project was that a huge part of the arrangement of the beats was McLaren, you know. I would send him a beat, like I would make a beat that's like a minute long or something, and then send it through, you know. And then he would take that and structure it into a whole song. And so he did the same thing with Level Up. And you know, the choices he decided to do, where he decided to add pauses and things like that, that was just like it just worked so perfectly. And those little backing vocals he did, bro, like it's unbelievable that he even did that on his own. Like he didn't have people to record with, it was just him, but he managed to do so much with it, you know, showing just how creative he can be. And yeah, that was it with favorite tracks. Those are my top 3, but it could change at any point. Like, you know, I listen to the project so much that I keep getting new favorites, you know, just depends on what's going on at the time. So yeah. The future, yo, we've got so much to do. We got so much going on. There's literally like, at any point in time, I'm literally working on like more than 5 projects at a single time, you know? So with this one being done, there's also like 4 other EPs or something that I have to drop, and like beat tapes on top of that. And I also just recently established a record label, you know? So I'm really aiming to do a lot with that. Like the vision for that goes so insane that I can't even begin to talk about it right now. But like, just know that there's a lot that I'm bringing to the table, and I'm still gonna be dropping so much more music. This year, if the schedule works out, after this project, I'm probably still gonna drop something else. If not, then 2022 is gonna be packed. Like I'm gonna be dropping so much music. Like you guys are gonna get tired of me, but you're not gonna, because like, you know, I do believe that y'all are gonna really like what I've been working on, you know. So yeah, that's me with the future. And as Drazzy said, bro, it's looking really bright. So yeah, and that's that from me.
Victoria, can I take you for a day? 'Cause you gorgeous, and I don't wanna be too late. 'Cause to me you flyer than the model, with the curves that beat an orange Fanta bottle with a Guardian.